So Charique, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us what you do, who you serve, tell us about your agency.
Sure, and thank you for this opportunity. Again, I'm Charique Richardson. I'm the founder of Digital Innovation Media Group. We are a full service web and digital marketing agency, and we work for small to mid-sized businesses, colleges, and organizations, and we are definitely moving into that government space. And yes, as Alma mentioned, I have been a student of her programs, and she's been amazing. I met Alma when she approached me for an interview when I was doing sales coaching, and I was just so impressed with her program and with the ladies in her group that I decided to join myself. And I've totally been just overwhelmed with how much wealth of knowledge that she has, that she brings to the group, her transparency, and how she's able to help us individually as well as collectively.
All right, great. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm just so enamored and just like in awe of how far you've grown. Like since I first met you, you were doing like the sales coaching and then you moved
Yeah.
into the agency space and just seeing the progress of your business growth has just been amazing. So we're gonna jump right into it. So when we first met, right? What was your business like before you joined it? Because I know you
Mhm.
you didn't have an agency. You were
Right.
doing more coaching. What made you want to start an agency and kind of transition to that space?
Well, when I was coaching a lot of the women, they were introverted women. There are women who were just not, they didn't want to be salesy. So they just were not that good at selling themselves, but also they didn't know how to generate leads. They didn't know how to market themselves. So it's hard to sell if you're not really marketing yourselves effectively. So I found that there was more of a need for marketing. And my first love, when I came to marketing, I have an MBA and part of that program was like 3 internships. And so in one of those internships, I was approached to redesign a corporate website for Seagram's and Sons. And I was, that was an amazing experience. And that's how I fell in love with web design. So I said, in the midst of all of helping the ladies in the group, I also wanted to, I just realized that I just wanted to go back to my first love of, designing websites, developing marketing strategies, customized marketing strategies for businesses, as well as helping navigate them to where the sales process is it's almost too easy because you've done so much on the front end. And I found that with effective marketing, you don't have to be salesy and you didn't have to worry about so much handling rejections and objections and things like that, because you're marketing yourself so strategically and niched down to the people that you really want to work with.
So yeah, so at that point, when you joined the Launch Your Online Agency course, where was your business?
Oh, yes, my business was not, it was just basically, I had, clients, people who I knew. I was in North Carolina at the time. I'm now in New Orleans. And so it was just really not at a place where I was organized. I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And so when I joined Launch Your Online Agency, it helped me to build some structure. It really helped me to, see that, hey, I need help. I can't do everything. And it really gave me a community of women who were in the same situation. So I didn't feel alone, like I'm the only one having these problems. And so it was definitely an amazing help, and I still go back to today.
And then from there, you joined the coaching program, which I have a 12-month coaching program as well. So I've been working with her on this. So when you were in the program, what was your experience like as far as the courses, the structure, things like that?
It's very detailed. You just follow it step by step. And every week we meet, we're able to ask questions. I built relationships with the other women, and we are forming partnerships. And so it's not just what we get from you, but also from each other. We're all, pretty much under that umbrella. The courses are they're easy to follow. You give us an opportunity to ask questions and to be there for each other when someone's having an issue. And you, of course, have definitely been like I mentioned before, just been an amazing resource for us as we're growing and going through different phases of business. I was in growth phase of my business, and so it was growing so fast, I didn't know like what to do. So I definitely had some hiring challenges. I had challenges of working with certain types of clients and certain types of people, and I was able to get a lot of those issues resolved in the coaching course.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about coaching, because my programs have there is a training, there is curriculum,
Mhm.
but I have found that people need coaching. They need a place to go to ask questions
Yes.
when things come up, like hiring people or certain types of clients that have been, you're doing a great job, and all of a sudden it doesn't work out. And like, what do you
Right,
do?
right.
Yeah, because the thing about growing a marketing agency and having clients and trying to also hire people is there's going to always be something that comes up. And
Mhm.
so I created these coaching programs to build a community around that so that you can come and get support. And that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of the people that do the coaching part do really, really well, because just trying to take courses and try to figure it out yourself is not always effective. That's what I found.
That's true. Because you're always going to have questions. I don't care how detailed. I mean, and the courses are detailed, but everyone is unique. Everyone is in a different phase of business. And so you're going to need that coaching just for that reassurance. Am I doing the right thing? Or just to have a total aha moment in the coaching where you're presented with information that you never even thought of that can really help you.
Exactly. All right. So now from there, from the time you joined Lunch Island Agency to 2021, how has
Mhm.
your business grown? What was some of the
Oh my
changes?
God. Oh my gosh. It grew tremendously. I exceeded my income goals. I was able to, contribute more to my household. I was able to practice more self-care because I could. I was able to take myself to Destin a couple of times and just have a whole weekend of just relaxing and refreshing. And these are things that I could not do before. I was able to really build relationships and network and join a different level and be around a different level of people, who can really help me make more, strategic partnerships and really help me grow. And so, I mean, last year was totally amazing in the program because it was basically an introduction to this is how life can be if you are running your business effectively and managing your finances, and making sure that you're taking care of yourself first, because when you're in a growth phase, it's easy to forget yourself. But, you definitely stress that importance of while business is important, that we definitely need to practice self-care and make sure that we're good to ourselves first.
Yeah. And honestly, Charique and everybody was watching, I try to be an example of that because I set my business up so that it provides an income for myself, but it
Hmm.
allows me to take time off. Like that's one
Yes.
of the things I'm trying to always teach, the women in our program is this requires you to have to invest in the business, whether it's hiring a virtual assistant or
Hmm.
hiring someone to help you with client. Like there has to be a level of investment. But when you do that, you have the potential to increase your revenue, right? So like the mindset you have to have is like what I'm trying to show people is build a company that you can withdraw funds from, right? Versus thinking like I got to be the one who does all the client work, who does everything, builds the graphics, who does the website, who does every single thing. And so what happens is you're stuck in client delivery.
Right.
You can't take vacations, right? You can't take care of yourself. So yeah, I'm so happy you went to Destin.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was just in my business paid for all of it. I was able to take my son to DC for a college tour. My business paid for that. Didn't have to worry about anything. And it's just things like that when you're able to contribute to your family, like I said, and even yourself. That's, you're working, like you said, you're working to build a life, not just a business.
Yes, yes, awesome. What was one of the I know in 2021 you had a really big revenue month. What was one of the highest revenue months you had last year?
I think 15,000 was my highest month.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the thing that you did to change your strategy to get more clients? How are you specifically getting clients? And we teach a lot of different strategies in the program.
Mhm.
I know Charique, you were doing some networking. You want to kind of go into how that worked out for you?
Sure. So networking is something that I've heavily relied on. I'm part of a referral group where we all give each other referrals. And so there was a certain percentage of my business that was referrals from that. Also, being a member of the local chambers helped tremendously because I was able to get clients there or partner with other agencies to work on larger clients, such as a lot of the major universities here in New Orleans. My work is being displayed there. So I was able to build connections and network there. I'm also sitting on the board of the American Marketing Association here locally. And so that has opened, just tremendous doors for me to have face-to-face contact with people who, like I mentioned before, or just really, they're ready to invest, they're ready to work, they're already invested in marketing, and they know what it takes, that it's not just a one size fits all. And so I can't stress enough that you need to get out there and network. I know with COVID, you want to be safe. And so do one-to-ones on Zoom like we're doing now. You can do virtual coffee meetups. I've done that. I've had social distance meetings at coffee shops, but it's important that you're constantly getting your name out. I also speak locally. I've done talks for local women's organizations, and that has helped and got my name out. So when something comes up like an RFP, people are calling me and saying, Charique, you need to apply for this. And so just the visibility locally as well as online has done tremendous things for my business.
Yes, that is so important. And I wanted to, we talked before we had this, we went live, but what is your plan? I think you mentioned you want to start getting into government contracts or bigger contracts. What is your plan for this year coming up?
Yes, this year I want to do even bigger than last year. Knowing what I know now, I didn't have a lot of this information until I joined the program. And so now that I have this information, I'm definitely getting certified for government contracts. And that is definitely an avenue that I'm working with. What they consider small is big to us, smaller businesses. And so, but the experience that you get and what you learn is also valuable. So in addition to my current clients and my current business, that is part of my goal. And I'm doing that through partnering with other women of color and through even my own, if just doing that even on my own, but just looking at different ways to increase my networking, making sure that I'm networking in areas that I want to get into, such as corporations and things like that. So you got to be where they are.
Exactly.
And that's about that, just being where the clients are and showing yourself to be of service. And once they see you as an authority in your field, it gets even easier.
Yes. So what are some tips that you would give any other women who are aspiring to grow a business? I grew my business. Well, I actually started my agency like 10 years ago. So I was in my 30s. Okay. I'm a little bit older now. And I'm really happy to bring you on because I think that some people want to know, like, maybe you have some women watching who are 30s, 40s, maybe this is the first time they started a business. They may feel intimidated. They may feel, I had someone actually ask me, do you think it's just too late for me, right?
Yes.
And my business has skyrocketed.
Right.
So what would you give any advice that you would give someone who maybe like a corporate, someone who has a corporate job and wants to really start this, what would you tell them?
Well, for one, it's not too late. I'm also in my 40s. And the benefit of that is that we bring a wealth of information. We've had experiences in corporate. We know what it's like to build and to grow and to develop these strategies. And we've watched them over time. So we have proven strategies. So that's something that I proudly tout, 25 years of marketing experience. I'm not ashamed of that because I worked hard and I earned that. So if you're thinking that if you're sitting in your office like I was, when I was working in corporate, I wished I had me or I knew you back then. You know what I mean? And because I would have been like, teach me your ways, get me out of here. I want to work for myself. So if you're sitting there at your office and you're thinking my time has passed, no, it has not. You definitely can start your business today. And my biggest piece of advice is to always look at, never stop generating leads, never stop doing lead generating activities, right? That's posting on social, that's building an email list, that's networking, partnerships, looking at all the different ways that you can build referral partners, make sure that, build that know, like, and trust, not just online, but also within your local business community. Teaching, people love that. Hold workshops, trainings at night. That's a way that people can see you as an authority. So the key is to stop now and to start making a plan of how you can have consistent leads coming in and looking at that, your website, your social media presence, how you're showing up online. All of those things are so important because that's going to set you apart from other people. Share your story. Don't be ashamed to say I worked for 30 years in corporate. That says, okay, she's not cheap. She has a highly valuable business. And if I'm going to work with her, I'm going to have to invest. That's what that says, really. So that's not really a disadvantage. That's actually an advantage to you to charge more money and to be able to demand that and be more respected in your field.
Yes, awesome. Such great advice. All right. Well, Charique, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, sharing these gems with us, and sharing your stories specifically. And tell us, how can people find you and reach out to you? We'll also put her information on our website as well. Any place that you like to hang out, specific social media platforms, or your website?
Well, my first is my website. I'm always a website person. So my website is digital innovation, M as in Mary, G as in go.com. So that's where you can find out all the services that I offer, and you can see who I work with. I'm on Facebook under my business name, Digital Innovation Media Group. I'm on LinkedIn under my professional name, Charique Richardson, MBA, and Digital Marketing Works on Instagram.
All right. Well, thank you, Charique, so much. So glad to have you here today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.